Hey everybody, this is Sherry Wynn. Welcome to Olympic Minds, Leadership Without Limitations. So what we're going to talk about today is really those things that help people become or have the Olympic level mindset. And so what do I mean? I mean, it's the people who want to become the leader of leaders or the visionary of visionaries, the people who want to move from success to significance, or people who really want to move from the idea of mediocrity to mastery. I'm your host, Sherry Wynn, two-time Olympian, national championship basketball coach, CEO of the Winning Leadership Company. And so listen, the people I'm talking to, they're not talking theory. They're down in the dirt. I mean, they are doing the things we're going to talk about today. So this is not theory. It's grit-tested, heart-proven, results-driven information you're going to hear today. Today we have a wonderful guest named Ramon Gonzalez, who I met him, I don't know, maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago. I don't know when it was, when I interviewed him for a book. I love the interview. He's a U.S. Navy veteran. He is a black belt. I'm going to let him tell you about that. He's a transformational leader. He's really worked a lot in the supply chain world, and so he's been an SVP in that as well. And so, folks, this is a guy who really understands how to level up your leadership skills. So I'm going to let Ramon introduce himself. Go ahead, Ramon. Tell him about you a little bit more.
Hello, Coach. Thank you for this opportunity. Ramon Gonzalez. I'm originally from Caracas, Venezuela, a beautiful country, even though it's a little messy right now. And I came to this country after high school to go to the university, and I went to Tennessee. I'm a volunteer, so go Vols, I bleed orange. And yes, I had the honor of serving in the U.S. Navy. And I ended up going to Emerson for many years, and they helped me out. Lean training, Six Sigma training, ended up getting my black belt certification. I have been blessed to have been able to work all over the US. I spent 3 years in Ireland. I spent 7 years in Singapore. And I would say for the last 15 years, I have been working in operations and supply chain, end-to-end supply chain, which I thoroughly enjoy. I love to see how everything or anything is made. And I have learned a ton. Thankfully, great leaders in my past, and great colleagues, great team members, and blessed to be where I am today.
See, I love what you said, blessed. So let's start with that. Let's start with the idea of gratitude and how gratitude plays into becoming an Olympic level leader. So a lot of people understand that gratitude is a very high energy level, right? It's a very high vibration to be at. So how do you live in gratitude? Is there anything that you do that helps you live in that blessed state that you have every day, or anything that you teach your team members to live in gratitude?
Well, we could go on forever on that one, but I'll try to keep it short. My faith is what carries me, and I'm proud to say that. I have faith in God, and gratitude comes to me because of that as well, I would say. So I wake up in the morning being thankful for things. I go to bed being thankful for things. And what that does for me is bad things happen. Bad things are happening to me right now. I have a lot of problems at home, at work right here, but I don't focus on that. I do not focus on the things that I cannot control. If I can control them, then let's make them better. And let's make them better as soon as possible so we can move on to the next thing. But then I try to help my team members and people in my organizations to make sure that they're focusing on that. What is going well? We need to fix what's not going well, but we need to focus on what's going well and what we are blessed with. And I have gone through a lot of stuff, good and bad, but that's not what I focus on. I focus on the fact that I was able to work in Ireland. I was able to work in Singapore. Yeah, it was tough. My dad ended up passing away while I lived in Singapore, but I don't focus on that. I got to work in Singapore, and I was able to have my dad for many years. So if that helps a little bit.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's great, because I really think that gratitude is something that changes us. When I get up in the morning, the first thing I say to myself is, I'm so lucky that I have this body that's a miracle body. And people are like, well, why would you say that? Well, I've had health issues for a long time, but I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on the body, like how it's continued to help me get through the next day, all the things that most people said I couldn't overcome. And it's like, well, if I start with the day with like, I'm so lucky to have this body because it's a miracle, then it begins the day in the right space, right? It really helps us, like you were saying, Ramon, it helps us not focus on the things that are, like you say, bad or the negative or the hard or the challenges. We're focused on really how we are so blessed and lucky to be in this place at this time. And that gives us energy. Like when you're living in energy, it's a lot easier to take action. Would you agree with that?
100%. And I love that. the energy. It does give me energy. Being negative and focus on the negative stuff saps it away from me. So thank you for that. I really like that.
Yeah. And so, you said that you help your team look for the blessings or look for the good. So is there something in particular that you do to help them find that? Do you sit around at a staff meeting and say, hey, share one thing that happened this week that was good? Or do you have something that you do on a regular basis that helps them seek the good too?
You know what I love to do is I love to highlight to people in team settings something great that they have done, because we all mess up, we all have bad days, and people unfortunately sometimes focus on that, and some people will call out on meetings because of that, and I personally hate that. Don't ever do that to somebody in a meeting. Take him offside, out of the meeting, and then you talk to them. On the contrary, I can say, wow, coach, you did an amazing thing with the project that you had to get done on time or fast, or you saved a ton of money. I love to say that in front of everybody to make sure that people are thinking, oh, that person is good and that other person is good. Everybody has something good about him. How can I highlight that in front of everybody on purpose?
Absolutely. One of the things I found out, because I coached college basketball for 23 years and I coached women. So let me say the difference between women and men. There's a little bit of difference. You probably know that. There's a little bit of difference. But the biggest difference in terms of mentality is that women tend to not think they're good enough. And men seem to think that they're good enough. They think that they can do it and they believe in themselves a little bit more than women do. And we spend a lot of time just trying to help them see the good in themselves. And when they could find that good, when they could find and connect with that. People say, oh, people have the imposter syndrome. And I'm like, well, everybody has the imposter syndrome. Everybody has it when you're starting something new, right? But it's really helping people find the good in themselves or see the best in themselves to help them get to that Olympic level mindset. Because I think if we can stop beating ourselves up and we turn to see what's good in us, again, that leads us down a better road. I mean, are you going to be better if you're beating yourself up? Or are you going to be better if you think that you're on the right path? Yeah. So, when I speak about that, do you coach your team? Do you sit down with them one-on-one and have these conversations? So what's the best coaching technique that you've found to help your team or your team members get to a different level?
Well, listening is number one. And I'm going to tell you, I have had to work at that myself a ton, and I'm still working on it. I'm working on it at home. I'm working on it at work. But listening and being genuine. And I do care about people. I do care about my folks. One of my team members, his mom is getting old and she's getting sick and he's having to take care of her. And I am one of those people. As long as you're getting your job done, you go take care of mom. Go take her to the doctor's appointment or whatever the case may be. It's being a human being at work. It's not all about work. It's not all about making money. It's not all about shipping the widgets. If I'm taking care of my team members, guess what? They're going to do everything and anything for me, because that's what I do for my leaders, my managers. When they treat me like a human being, when they're flexible with me, I want to do more. And I have learned that long time ago, so I try to do the same with everybody. I do like my one-on-ones with them just to check on them. And you can actually see on their face, we're doing Teams and video and all of that. How are you doing today? If there is a lady where her husband had to go for about 3 weeks and she has 3 boys. So I kept checking on her actually a little more often. How are you doing? You can work from home? Yes, go work from home. So they know that you care about them genuinely, because they're the fake people as well. And they can tell. People can tell when you're being real and when you're not. So one-on-ones are critical, listening to them and paying attention to what they're saying and then bringing it back. Like, how's mom doing? Or did your husband come back? They go, oh, he was actually listening to me. And I take notes because I do forget.
Well, it's okay to take notes, because then you can remember, right? Every time that when I talk to my players, I did the same thing. I would take a note and then come back to them, just like you said you did. Come back to them about that same issue. Because I can remember there was a year when I was coaching, and I do a lot of sports analogies because that's what I was in sports for such a long time. But we had a problematic team. So I had a team that was struggling. And we did this exercise once, and we sat down in a room together and we were trying to get closer together. So one of the questions we said, and we're going to go around 15 times. So you got to imagine you had 15 players go around the room 15 times, and you could not, the rules were you could not repeat yourself. So every time it came back to you, maybe it was 10 times, so it wasn't quite 50, it's 10 times. It's still a lot. And the question was, the thing that nobody knows about me is. Well, it started off, Ramon, with things like, nobody knows my favorite color is pink, or nobody knows that, my favorite food is asparagus, or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. By the time we got to the 8th round, people were getting real. And I was sitting there listening, Ramon, and I thought, oh my gosh, I should know this about this kid. One kid said, and I say kid, one young lady said, my father and both my brothers are in prison. Oh. And I was like, I knew her father was, but I didn't know she had 2 brothers in prison. I thought, that's something I should know about. I should have known that. Yeah. Like, I wasn't going deep enough to understand my players. And another player said, she'd been sexually molested when she was in junior high school. And I was like, that explains a lot to me, why she behaves the way she behaves.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of, like you said, the listening. So what is it that makes it safe for people to say things like that? I mean, they don't have to reveal as deep as I just mentioned, but they have to know that it's safe to talk to you. So what kind of things do you do to create that safety issue that they feel like they can come to you and tell you things that they know that's going to stay within you? It's not going to be, you're never going to share it. You're not going to tell anybody else about it. And that you are trustworthy enough to hold that in a space of compassion.
Well, that's a hard one. And you said a key
this is
word
not
there.
This is not an easy podcast.
Come on. You said a key word at the end, trust. Mm-hmm. Trust is earned and it takes time. Unfortunately, I cannot make that happen fast. So it is about showing up over and over and over again in front of people. And people are smart. People can tell when you're genuine, like I said earlier, and when you're being a fake. So being in a meeting, the fact that if I'm in a meeting, I don't yell at anybody, and I take them offside or outside the meeting, I say, hey, you shouldn't have said that, or you shouldn't have acted that way, or next time I need you to bring this stuff, and whatever that case may be. Those people know that I care about them because I didn't do it in front of everybody else. So they trust me to be, to keep the stuff to myself, because I'm also not going around and talking about keeping stuff. I have gone to people and said, you should have never said that on an email in front of everybody. So people know where I stand. So when it comes to talking and I'm saying, hey, why don't you share this or that or the other, they feel more free because they understand what I'm trying to do with everybody else, if that makes sense.
Well, no, I think it's great. I think that we have to create that level of trust and the discipline that you're talking about, not necessarily disciplining the person, but having the conversation with the individual when there's something that they're doing that is wrong. I mean, what I found in a lot of leaders, Ramon, is that they don't do that. They don't take the opportunity to coach a person. Mm-hmm. When they do something wrong, they're like, oh, what if they get mad, or what if they get upset? And I'm like, and what happens if you let them become a worse version of themselves? Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, it's our responsibility, I think, as leaders, it's our responsibility to help people become the best version of themselves. So that,
and you have to take action. If you don't mind me sharing this one, because it just popped in my head. Sure. I remember on my last company, I got a complaint from a team member that worked under my team. And she came in and she said, hey, this guy's been this and he's been that, and he's been doing that for a long time and whatever. And I'm going like, wow, that is horrible. So sorry. Thanks for letting me know. Let me talk to HR and we're going to do something about it. And go, I'm just giving you an FYI. We have been talking about this for 2 years and nobody has done anything about it. It's like, oh my goodness. So guess what? I was going to do something about it. I was going to talk to HR and all of that. But after she said that, I made it a point not only to make something happen, but come back to her and say, hey, this is what we're going to do as a company. That is embarrassing. If you say you're going to do something, you have to do it. If people are not acting like they should be acting in front of others, you have to take action because everybody's noticing that you're not doing anything about it. And they don't respect you for that.
Absolutely. And then what I think that hurts your highest level of achiever. So if I'm working for you, Ramon, and I see that you're not taking care of business, like you're not taking care of the things that I ought to be taking care of, why should I give you my best effort? Why should I stand in and work harder for you? Or when you say we've got a deadline that we have to meet, and I go, too bad. You're on your own. You're on your own, dude. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best leaders. So one of the things I've always been interested in is the topic of resilience. The topic, you can call it grit, you can call it resilience, you can call it determination, whatever you want to call it. But a lot of people I meet, they're like, well, you just have it or you don't. So how do you teach that? How do you teach grit or determination or resilience to your team? Because, they're going to follow you, right? They're going to follow whatever you say, whatever you do, they're going to follow you. So if you have a team and they're going through a tough time, and we do, I mean, it's going to happen. If it's not happened at your company or under your team, it's going to happen because that's just the way it happens. So what do you do? How do you teach them to get to that next level of grit?
So I go back to what I have gone through and the times that I have succeeded. For example, coming to the US by myself. I was 18, different country. I'm in Tennessee, different country, and trying to figure out things. I was alone. I was homesick, no cell phones. I was crying every week and whatnot, but I made it. So my point on that is I like to stretch people. If you're in your comfort zone, then you don't know what you do because you're happy with where you are because you have proven that you can do it. When I am with my team members or their folks, I always look for more. How can we do more, faster, better, cheaper, whatever the case may be? But I am with them. I'm not throwing them out for them to figure it out. I'm saying, I know you can do this. I know you can do this, or I know you can succeed here, and I'm here to help you. What do you need from me? And I'm proving to them that I'm there with them. And when they make it, then they go, wow, I didn't think I could do it. I told you you could. I told you you could. And that just helps everybody, helps me myself, because I don't know that they can do it. I think they can, and all of a sudden they prove me right, then that makes me, happy. It gives me a lot of satisfaction, but it shows me that I can keep doing that with everybody. Not everybody takes it the same way. Not everybody's willing to stretch themselves out, but most people are, and I love the success stories there.
So I want to go back to, you just said you're 18, you come to a new country, and then you said you went to Tennessee, which is a different country, which, So you came to a new country, you're 18 years old. I mean, you really don't even know yourself. You're far, far, far away from home. You don't have access to that support. How did you, I mean, you said you cried a lot, but how did you make it? What was it? Did you find people who were supportive? Did you read books? What did you do? Because I know people are out there going, look, it's too hard. And that was a hard thing. So what did you do to help yourself get through that?
You know what? I kept thinking of what would happen. My dad came to school in the US and he graduated and he ended up being a preacher. So no, he wasn't a millionaire, but he had a good life and he gave us a good life. And I kept looking to that. I wanted to be an engineer. I knew that from early on. After wanting to be a pastor, then I wanted to be an engineer. And I kept looking towards that. I remember spending a summer sleeping in a detached garage on the floor, on a mattress, dirt floor. And you know what? I look back then that was very hard. I had a little refrigerator. I could only buy white bread and cheese whiz, cheese and Cokes. Right now, I'm saying that was all worth it. I kept thinking, I just need to work hard. My parents cannot help me. Thankfully, I found friends that were good support. I had this guy that I couldn't live with him, but every weekend he would take me to his house. And his mom would cook for me. And I was just a king in the kitchen with them. And I had a lot of people like that in my life. I would ride my bike to work at this other place. And when it was pouring down on rain, I had all these guys coming. No, throw your bike on my pickup truck. I'll take you. You're not riding on the rain. I had a lot of people in my life that kept showing up. That's why I love to show up. I love to help people all the time because of where I've been. But that helps you looking in the future. Why are you doing that? Why am I here by myself? Why am I here without my family, going, being a little hungry and whatever? Because I want to be an engineer in the United States. And it was one
you had a big driving why. You had a big thing that you knew that was going to make your life different. You could see it, you can visualize it, you could really stand in that. I think that's a big key. A lot of people can't imagine where they want to be. And so they're constantly looking at what is versus what could be. Yeah. And so they want to see it before they believe it. And you're saying, look, you got to believe it before you see it. And that's the key. I mean, it's the visualization, it's the imagination. It's the hope that you put everything on. It's living in the hope. It's living in the belief system that something good's going to happen. So then, you went to the U.S. Navy. Now that's not easy either, right? I mean, you had to go into, did you guys do like some sort of boot camp before you got in the Navy? Well, I've heard nothing but like how challenging a boot camp is, right? That's got to be hard. So you went from college, now you go into the U.S. Navy. How hard was it to get through those initial few weeks when you first got to the Navy?
Well, it is hard. First of all, it's all brand new. Obviously, you're with people you've never met in your life before and all of that. I was doing it, to be honest with you. I love that I served in the Navy now, but they gave you money for school. And I'm thankful to the US government and the Navy for providing that opportunity. So again, it's thinking I'm doing this because I need the money for school. And eventually I'm going to graduate and I'll, go do what I want to do. But so it was hard. Yeah, the discipline was hard, the physical training, the waking up super early, the going to bed super late, doing exercises and whatnot, the traveling where we needed to go, whether ships or submarines. But it was fun at the same time. To me, it was an adventure. It was exciting, but it was hard.
I love that you just said it was an adventure, because I think that that's a mindset, that's an Olympic level mindset. So what I think that, when you can look at obstacles as an adventure, when you can really get in the space of seeing those as an adventure, then it changes the way you feel about the thing that you're in. Because adventure is like, it's fun. I don't know what's going to be around the corner, but I know it's going to be cool. I'm excited to do it. It changes the whole idea around what you're doing. And so when people see things and they're like, this is hard, this is difficult, this is too hard. Like, if that's what's going through your mind, if that's the kind of the hamster wheel in your mind, it's very difficult to get to the next level, which is, wow, can I see the end of this? Can I see how, even though it's challenging, how good I feel that I made it through the day? Like, that says something about me. I made it through the day. Look at what's going to happen because of what I'm doing today. It's that kind of mindset that changes people, because when you get stuck in just it's hard, this is horrible, I can't believe, like, you're way off track in that. You've got to train your mind to think differently, right? So do you do anything daily? I think a lot of people, we come to work, it's challenging. You said before we started, you go, I'm drowning over here. And I know you're not drowning because you're not in the water, you're not in the ocean. But you're like, it's a lot of stuff that's going on. What do you do that helps you keep the positive attitude that you have? Because Ramon, so many people live in negativity, and some people have habits like working out or going to bed or reading something positive, or like, I don't watch the news because I don't want to. I read little bits of it, but 90% of the news is negative, so I'm not going to live in negativity. So what do you do to keep yourself in that positive plane so that when you go to work and things are challenging, that you can say, well, this is an adventure?
Well, I'll be honest. I wake up, I say my prayers, I make my coffee, and I do my devotional. And I go to bed. I don't drink coffee at night, but I go to bed the same way. I do my devotional. I'm thankful for this, that, and the other. I say my prayers and I go to bed. And the family. I couldn't do it without my family, without my wife. I'm blessed with 2 boys that are amazing, that I don't deserve. I have a dog that I love to death. I never had a dog in my life until 9.5 years ago when he came. And I love to take him on walks. I walk him before work. I walk him at night, right before I go to bed. To me, that's all relaxing. And I love to read. You're talking about daily things. So I always read something for work or business or, improvement. But then at night, when I'm going to bed after my devotional and my prayers, I read something for fun. I love to read international crime, FBI type of things. And that just relaxes me. I love to forget about everything. And now I'm going to bed. So that's what I try to do every day.
Well, I think that's that connection. So you have the discipline to connect with something that's positive, connect with a good feeling. You did that intentionally at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, right? You're in that gratitude zone, you're in the blessing zone. And, there was a time in my life I couldn't see anything that was positive. I was absolutely, like, when people know me today, they're like, oh my gosh, like, who are you? Because when I knew you when you were in your 20s, you were a mess. I'm like, yeah, I was a mess. But I didn't see the world the same way. I really had to learn to look at all the things that were good. And so one of the things I did was create a gratitude journal that I would recite 5 things that I was grateful for. And I had to teach myself. You had a dad that was a pastor, so maybe your life was different because maybe he started with blessings, or he started with prayers, or he started with thankfulness and all that stuff. But for me, I had to teach myself to think from the point of gratitude, not from the point of everything here's wrong. Let me list everything that's wrong today, because that's where I started from.
Oh, wow.
And so I had to change to, oh my gosh, look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Oh my gosh, look at the weather. Oh my gosh, so I had to change. I had to teach myself that, to be grateful. So that's why I think it's such a powerful thing, is that we are constantly in, you can say thought, you can say prayer if you want to, you can say thankfulness, you can say whatever it is that you align with in that level. But being in that space, I think, is really super important for us to live in that space, right?
Okay.
So you had a lot of things to overcome. And so one of the things that I find interesting is when we're looking at, our lives and we're looking at the things we have to overcome, sometimes we come up against a mindset or a belief of ours that we need to get beyond. So when I was a youngster, like for example, my family, and I didn't know this, Ramon, I didn't understand this. My family were victims. And so a victim is anybody who blames outside events, other people or circumstances for why they are who they are. I did not know that I was.
Wow.
Right? I didn't even know what a victim was. And then years later, as I kept reading books and, learning about myself, I recognized that, oh my gosh, I spent most of my life blaming other people for why I am who I am and having zero responsibility. It was only when I took responsibility for myself that things really started to shift for me. So is there a mindset shift that you had to use somewhere along the way that helps you get even further along?
You know what? Maybe this one. I have done a lot of stuff on my own, and I have been able to succeed. But then what that gets to you or me, in my case, to a point is that you need to count on yourself only. You can do anything. You don't need anybody else. But when you start leading people, that's a bad mindset to have, because now I cannot do everything by myself. I needed to move to that shift, and I need to be able to work with my team and use them for what they're strong at, that I am not. And I will tell you a funny one that sort of was a wake-up point in my supervisory years when I was learning to work with people. We had a happy hour at work, and for some reason, and people were off. I had a team of young engineers, and they were off. And my boss, or my boss's boss, walks by my cubicle, and he looks at me and he goes, "What are you doing here, Ramon?" He said, "Well, I'm working on this Excel thing. I love Excel, and I can do it better than anybody else, right?" So he said, "Why are you here?" I didn't tell him that. He says, "Why are you here?" "Well, I'm finishing up this work." "Where are your engineers?" "They're at the bar already, at the restaurant." I go, "Why aren't you there? You should be there. If they need to work, if you need to work, they should be here doing the work that you're doing." I'm like, interesting. So that was a wake-up moment. It's not about using the team. It is about giving them the opportunity to succeed at something, and them getting, thankful, thank you for that, or congratulations for that, versus me trying to do everything on my own because I can do it, or I can do it better than they. That's not the point.
Right. So it sounds like you had to let go of the ego. So you had to let go of that ego mindset, which is it's good for us at a certain level, and then it becomes something that's no longer good, right? So it might be the thing that got you to the leadership position, but if you want to be a better leader, it's something that you had to let go.
Wasn't it?
Right. So that's called the ego, because the ego gets in our way a lot. The ego is that thing that wants us to control everything. The ego is the thing that's really behind our insecurity. And so we have to learn to move beyond that. So what is the thing that you said you read a lot? So one of the things I found about great leaders, Olympic level leaders, is that they are constantly in the growth mode. So they're either reading, or they're attending conferences, or they're listening to podcasts, or they have coaches or mentors, right? So how important is that growth mindset?
Oh, for me, it's 100%. Every day, I'm either reading something. Today at noon, there was something that I got on my personal email about living longer and healthier and all of that. And I subscribed to that, and I listened to this guy talk about that topic for an hour during lunch. So it's my lunchtime, so I can do that. I'm curious in general. I'm an engineer. My head works that way. I love to see how things work, but not only trinkets or machines. I love to see how people work. I love to see how the body works, how it gets better and all of that. And I'm always trying to learn. I use ChatGPT a ton. I'm always asking questions. I'm reading a book and I don't understand a little piece. I go in there and say, why does it say that? What is the author trying to say? My point is, I'm always trying to learn. You know why? It might not be good for anything, but it gets me what I need. I get satisfied when I'm learning new things, even though they might not be good for anything like that.
Well, I think you just said something about ChatGPT, which I didn't think about, which was that if you didn't understand something, you're just plugging into ChatGPT, explain this to me. It's another use of that, from people who are learners. They're not afraid to admit what they don't know. They are, in fact, the more that you learn, the more apt you are to say, I don't know. And you're not afraid to admit that. I mean, I had a coaching client today who was explaining that her boss asked her to take a call from his boss. And so she did. And, the highest level boss was asked her all these questions she didn't know. And so what she did was she's like, well, I felt stupid. I should have known all that. I can't believe I didn't know that. She beat herself up. I said, wait a second. What did you say when he asked you questions that you didn't know? She goes, well, I was flustered. I was embarrassed. I said, what did you say? She goes, well, I just tried to find an excuse, or I tried to find, if I could find the information. I said, well, why didn't you just tell him? Like, I don't know. And I'll find out. Like, if you give me what you need to know, I will go find it out for you, and I'll get it back to you by 4:00 this afternoon. She's like, well, I didn't even think about that. And I said, well, look, this is the big thing. It's okay not to know. And the smarter you are, the more that you understand that it's okay not to know.
Absolutely. I remember somebody telling me in one of my jobs at Emerson, when I was presented to this guy is going to ask a lot of questions. Do not start making up answers. Just tell the guy, I don't know. And like you said, write down and say, I'll come back to you before the end of the day with the answer. How complicated is that? It is not complicated. People don't expect you to know everything. They expect you to get them an answer, but it doesn't have to be immediate. Just don't lie. Don't start making things up, because they will read right through that.
Yeah, so that kind of comes up to this idea of, if you're an Olympic level leader, you're really trying to help people find the confidence within themselves, right? Because, people tend to beat themselves up way too much.
Yeah.
And they live in that space. And so what I try to tell people is, look, if you beat yourself up, you're living in the problem, which means you cannot be in the solution, because you can't be in the problem and the solution at the same time. Would you rather live in the solution or live in the problem? And they're like, well, of course, the solution, right? So what are kind of things that you can do? I know that you have confidence because of everything you've gone through and the fact that you keep learning and growing. What do you do to help your team members get even greater confidence in themselves?
Yeah, that is a great question, and I agree with you 100%. I cannot say that all my team members are shy or they question themselves, but a lot of them do. And what kills me is that when I'm talking to them, they are such an expert in that thing that they do, and they don't even realize it. They think they don't know enough. I'm like, my goodness, I'm talking to this guy, Alex, and he knows all about manufacturing engineering in our place. And he's questioning himself and going like, Alex, there's nobody else in this company that knows more about that than you. So it is reinforcing. Now, we cannot lie. If Alex has a gap or somebody else has a gap, we need to be honest about that as well. But then we need to offer them a solution. How can I help you get to where you need to get on the knowledge? But it's also about reinforcing what they know already. You are amazing. You are where you are because you have done a great job so far. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in that position. And how else can I help you if you're missing anything in your knowledge, in what you're doing?
Well, it's a reinforcement. I think that you're right. So many people are, again, the idea that, and we learn this, the idea that we need to beat ourselves up to become better. And I'm like, you don't. What you need to do is learn from what happened to become better. Because in the moment of beating yourself up, are you on the path of becoming better? You're not. But we learn that. It's a learned behavior. I mean, if anybody ever played sports, you probably came into a scenario where you lost, and the next day practice was hell, right? It wasn't about teaching. It was about, we're just going to punish you for losing. And so, and so we learn, it's a learned behavior. It's a learned behavior to do that to yourself. And so I think it's really important that leaders understand beating somebody else up is not going to get them to the next level. I mean, there's a few people who that works with, but it's really rare. Most people want to be at another level. So if you were talking to somebody who wanted to be like that leader of leaders, the visionary of visionaries, if they really wanted to, what I call the Olympic level leader, what would you tell them is the most essential thing that they need to do to reach that level?
Well, one of the things that you said that I agree with 100% is that we don't know everything. Some people think that to be the leader of whatever, finance, manufacturing, doesn't matter, that they need to know everything or they need to know most of everything. And that's not why. I actually pick leaders for who they are more than for what they know. I can teach just about anybody anything. Anybody can be taught just about anything. But being a person of integrity, a person of trust, that's you have it or you don't have it. So I look for leaders for what they have already, what they are within themselves, and then help them with the knowledge that they will need for work. And I reinforce that, I'm picking you because of this and this and this, so they know why. So you're bringing this to me, and now let me help you with whatever knowledge you need for work, if that makes sense.
Right. Well, so when I was interviewing for my book, Winning Business Secrets, I asked the question, like, when you're looking for a high performer, what do you look for? So what are you interviewing for? What do you look for? And I would say, Ramon, like 90% of the people, of the leaders I interviewed said, I'm looking for somebody who's coachable, somebody who has a good work ethic, somebody who has the right attitude, somebody who fits within our culture. Nobody said, I'm looking for talent. Talent is kind of like the given. They have to have some level of talent. Like that's, you have to have, like if you're doing engineering, you probably need to have an engineering degree. But it's the next level of things that really make the difference makers. Those people who are willing to listen, the people who are willing to be coached, the people who come to you saying, tell me more about how I can become better. Tell me, what can I do to make myself the next level? It's that kind of person that people want to work with and want to be in their culture. Mm-hmm. So anything else, like Ramon, do you think of something that I haven't asked today that you want to share with the audience today that would really help them in their leadership and becoming the next level leader?
I would say, I'm talking from a personal level, flexibility. And it is up to you. If you want to be the next level leader, if you want to be a broader knowledge leader, you have to be flexible. I could have said no to a lot of opportunities, and people were coming to me from left field. I went to Ireland 3 years, loved the place. My wife is Irish. She loved the place. I kept telling my boss, I would love to go back to Europe if you had anything in Europe. And he said, hey, Ramon, we have an opportunity in Singapore. I'm like, well, that's not Europe. I went to my wife that afternoon. She said, sure, let's go. So it's flexibility from my side because I was willing to go, but thankfully my wife was as well. The more flexible you are, the more opportunities you're going to get. And you have to speak your flexibility also because people don't know. If you're open to do different functions, to supervise. I was open to supervision when I wasn't supervising anybody. You need to speak up. You need to tell your people. So that's what I tell my folks, the folks in my team. Make sure you're telling me what you want, not just what you need for work. What do you want? And if I can make it happen, I will make it happen for you. Being flexible helps you a ton.
Yeah. Well, that's one of my core values is being flexible and adaptable, because change is the only constant. We know change is going to happen. And if we're stuck in that's not the way it should be, or this is the way it should be, or whatever, you got to be adaptable to what's happening right now. That what's happening is AI, and companies who are not adopting AI will not be in business in like 3 years. I agree,
and we have examples of companies that couldn't adapt fast enough, and they're no longer with us. So.
Right, and people. I'm sure that we're not going to name them, but I'm sure we could probably name leaders who did the same thing, who weren't adaptable and who weren't flexible, who wouldn't listen, all the things that you talked about today. Ramon, this has been fantastic. I really appreciate, could you tell people maybe a little bit, like, if they wanted to ask you a question, how would they find you? Would they find you on LinkedIn?
LinkedIn will be the easiest one, Ramon Gonzalez, accent on the O and accent on the A, Ramon Gonzalez, that's the easy one. So happy to connect with anybody. Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for today. This was amazing. It's wonderful. And people, if you love the podcast, please share it. For anybody who's really looking to level up their leadership, who wants to be the next level of a leader, that Olympic level leader, because that's the people who make a difference. You're not looking for just success or looking for significance. You're looking to leave a legacy, which means you understand the power that you have to really multiply in positive ways from your team. Your team multiplies that positivity out to their family, which multiplies out to the community. And so the difference that you can make as being an Olympic level leader is great. So thank you for today, Ramon, and let's keep in contact. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Appreciate it. Take care. You too. Bye-bye.